Now, the crime of rape generally refers to non-consensual sexual intercourse, but an Israeli court has jailed an Arab man from East Jerusalem for 18 months for rape by deception after having consensual sex with an Israeli woman. He'd introduced himself as a Jewish bachelor. Well, the woman accused him of rape after finding out he was an Arab. Well, Merav Moore is Director of Resource Development at the Association of Rape Crisis Centres in Israel. She joins us live now from Tel Aviv. Merav Moore, even though the couple had consensual sex, this man was charged with what the court calls rape by deception. Was this a fair verdict by the court, do you think?
I think, first of all, that it's wrong to represent this as consensual sex. What we have here is a case of a man giving false information to a woman in order to enter into a sexual relationship with her. In this case, the legal standpoint and the moral standpoint is that she received false information, therefore consent is nullified. There's absolutely no importance to what the information was, whether it was financial status, whether it was race, whether it was religion. The fact of the matter is, he gave her wrong information in order to have a sexual relationship with her, therefore there was no consent.
All right, well, let's talk about that wrong information. I mean, is this case any different from a man saying to a woman he's French when in fact he's Italian? I mean, would he still be arrested for rape by deception?
Once a woman, or a man for that matter, enters into a sexual relationship with another person, they do so within characteristics that are acceptable to them. It's not our position nor the law's position to say what is an acceptable amount of characteristics or what are acceptable characteristics. This woman felt that she was entering into a relationship with a man for the long term when he was in fact married, and she wanted to be with a Jewish man who was in fact Arab. So in this case, the information was wrong, was fraudulent, and therefore there was no consent, and this is definitely a case of deceitful rape.
But the case does seem to have deeper undertones. I mean, one Israeli commentator made an interesting observation. He said that, what if this man had been a Jew? So let's put the shoe on the other foot. If this man had been a Jew who pretended to be a Muslim and had sex with a Muslim woman, would he be convicted of rape if the Muslim woman found out he was then a Jew?
Again, I'm not here to give the legal standpoint. A court of law has decided. What we do think at the Rape Crisis Centers in Israel, who I represent, is that it doesn't matter. Race does not enter into effect here at all. We see a lot of cases like this within the Arab community. We actually have a rape crisis center in Nazareth catering to the Arab community. And also there we have cases of Arab women complaining against Arab men who tell them they're single when in fact they're married, or they work in a certain place when in fact they don't. If a woman or a man feels that they have been wronged sexually in any way, they have the right to come and seek assistance, and that's what we do. We don't judge them, we don't take them to the police unless they ask to be assisted. That's our standpoint. We're here to help, and that's what we do. In any community, regardless of race, regardless of religion, that's what we do in Israel. Let
me just ask you a final question. I mean, Israel's Arabs say they suffer routine discrimination. Do you think this case underlines that discrimination?
Again, I really don't think there was any discrimination on any racial ground. I think this is purely a case of a man giving false information in order to fraudulently coerce a woman into a sexual relationship. It's, again, wrong to say this was consensual. If a woman or a man feels that they were given wrong information, they were raped. And this has absolutely nothing to do with the Arab situation in Israel, the conflict. The Rape Crisis Centers see this as a criminal case of rape, and that's what the courts decided.
All right, Merav Moore, we have to leave it there. Thank you very much indeed for your time.
Thank you for having me.